This last year, we experimented with kettle souring, and we did a Berliner Weiss, and we serve it with an optional blueberry syrup that is really, people really are enjoying. It's a really good, nice, dry, light summer beer.
Hey all, Amanda here, and welcome to entry 62 of Great Beer Adventure. As promised, we are headed out to sea today, 10 miles to be exact, where we find Monhegan Brewing Company, situated a short walk from the ferry drop-off on Monhegan Island. I sit down with Mary Weber and find out how a brewery gets started on a small island 10 miles out to sea. There are rumors out there about their expansion onto the mainland. Let's find out a bit more about the beers made at Monhegan Brewing Company.
Yeah, I'm Mary Weber from Monhegan Brewing Company. So my husband, Matt, and I live here on Monhegan, and my father has been sort of in the main beer scene for 20 plus years. In fact, in 92, he opened Lake St. George Brewing Company, which was in Liberty. And at the time, it was not necessarily a craft beer market, certainly not in rural areas. And so his accounts were in Portland. And he was working full time. And so it just wasn't working for him to be commuting to Portland to deliver his beer all the time. So he had to close the doors in, I think it was 96 maybe. So anyway, and then he went on and did some more brewing in other parts of the state, other breweries. And then when I moved here and married my husband, we kind of were jokingly thinking, oh, maybe this would be a really cool place for a brewery. And what started as a joke turned into a business plan. And basically from conception through business plan, we opened in about a year. We opened in 2013. Originally the idea was that we would, we might have a few draft accounts on the mainland. We might do some bottling. We definitely knew we wanted to have a tap room. But then quickly after the first summer, we realized that retail sales in the tap room was what our focus is. So we actually don't really do any distributing at all. Everything, pretty much everything that we sell, about 95% of our beer comes out of the taps. So that's sort of how we started and how our plan has evolved. So we've been sort of playing, since we've opened, we've been sort of playing around with the idea, and my dad, Danny McGovern, he's sort of tossing out the idea of basically building Lake St. George Brewing Company again, but larger and sort of across the road from where it was, in its own building rather than in our sunroom. So we're still in the planning process. Lake St. George Brewing Company, which will be a tap room brewery in Liberty. It's sort of family-based. My sister and brother-in-law will be joining with Matt and I and my mom and dad, and the three sort of couples will be running the place. Matt and I are certainly going to be more here, but yeah, Monhegan Brewing Company will still be here. It'll be a separate brewery, and then we'll also have Liberty. I suppose our beers are more versions of classic styles. We typically always have an IPA. We have 2 different IPAs that we make. We do a Citra hopped Kolsch, which is sort of probably becoming our more popular beer, really good for summer, which is, when we're open. And then this last year we experimented with kettle souring, and we did a Berliner Weiss, and we serve it with an optional blueberry syrup that is really, people really are enjoying. It's a really good, nice, dry, light summer beer. A traditional way to serve a Berliner Weiss, right, with that syrup. Although raspberry or Woodruff is the German way, but we're in Maine, right? And blueberries are in season.
They also make soda.
We do make a root beer and a ginger beer, which again, the ginger beer we're finding is, it's got quite a following here on the island. It's good on its own. It's good. We find it's good for when people stumble off the boat and they're, and they've got motion sickness. People, it's a nice little antidote, little remedy. People also like it with their dark and stormies, or a Moscow Mule. So yeah, root beer and ginger beer have been big. Kids like the root beer too.
You know what my next question is, right? What was Mary's first beer memory?
Oh, well, that's 5, 6, 7 years old, and seeing the carboys in the 5-gallon buckets bubbling all over the house with towels around them. And that smell of yeast fermenting is just, that's such nostalgia for me, just as a kid.
If you have not made the trip out to Monhegan Island yet, you better do it soon. As Mary said, they are a seasonal brewery. Take this long weekend as a chance to set sail and find Monhegan Brewing Company. If you all, our fabulous co-adventurers, would like to support the show, check out our Patreon page. For less than the cost of a beer, you can show us some love. Go to greatbeeradventure.com/support. If you want to see even more from our adventures, follow us on Instagram @GreatBeerAdventure. And be sure to subscribe to the show. That way, you won't miss a thing. Great Beer Adventure is part of the Great Pint Society. Cheers.